I'm Gabriel, and this is Black Forest Comics Weekly Review, Episode 13. And we're going to review comics that came out this week, and we're also going to discuss comics coming out next week, and the local news that's going on. Well, not the local news, unless you're going to count our Artist Expo happening here in the wonderful Almont Hotel this weekend, Saturday, October 10th. And it's free from 12 to 6. We're going to have over 20 artists here. So if you're not doing nothing, you're in the area, come check it out this Saturday, October 10th. So, let's get started with this week's comics. First up, we're going to get this one out of the way because I have been waiting for it literally for 7 months. The Goon, Once Upon a Hard Time, Part 4 of 4. If you read The Goon, you're familiar with the way the storylines play out. It's a continual story, but they do it all in sections. And this section had been Once Upon a Hard Time, which was a flashback story of kind of, not the Goon's origin, but curses that happened around the Goon. And at the very end, it's him killing, supposedly ending a curse that made ghosts pop up around him. But this one had taken literally 6 or 7 months for it to come out. It's supposed to be a monthly series, and it took 7 months for it. So I was really anticipating it, and I'll be very honest with you, I fell asleep reading it. So that tells you anything. Sad thing is I really love the Goon, though. He's one of my favorite characters. So if you have a chance, if a friend of yours bought it, read theirs. All right, so this episode's kind of going to be the number ones. I just wanted to get that one out of the way. Everything else is a number one that just came out. So first off, starting Batman and Robin Eternal. This is a new weekly series that's going to be coming out. And this issue right here is going to be from the viewpoint of Dick Grayson. Now you're going to go throughout this issue going through all the different Robin people. They're in Gotham right now. Dick Grayson is still working with Spiral, but he's in Gotham. And it's going to cover Jason Todd, it's going to cover Dick Grayson, it's going to cover Tim Drake. It's even going to cover the Harper girl. What is her name? Harper Row, Bluebird. It's going to cover just about everyone that worked with Batman up until his recent memory lapse, where he died and came back to life with memory loss. And they're also going to talk about how Jim Gordon is a new Batman, isn't as cool, and how they're effectively carrying on the legacy. So it's a good series, it's a good start. I'm really looking forward to where it's going. It ended off with there's a person known as Mother who Bruce Wayne had met a while back and set up some kind of, I guess if something were to ever happen to him, the mother would step in to take care of the orphans. So it's really interesting. You gotta check it out. If you like spy stuff, this is a good one to read. That's Batman and Robin Eternal issue 1. It's gonna be a weekly series. Next up, Paper Girls. This is a new series from Image written by Garth Ennis. It's a really, really good series. And as the title states, it's about girls who deliver newspaper early in the morning. So it starts off with them, character introduction, get to know the characters, and then at the very end, it's on Halloween night. And so they're following these people that are kind of roughing one of the newspaper girls up and steals their walkie-talkie. And so all the girls get together to go find these people. And I think, big spoiler here, the show's full of spoilers, I think they get transported into another dimension by these people. That's my guess. I'm sticking to it. So it's a really cool series. I'm really enjoying it. I'm looking forward to the way it goes. Brian K. Vaughan is one of the writers on it. I'm sorry. Ennis is doing A Train Called Love. Brian K. Vaughan is doing this one. All right, so Brian K. Vaughan did this one, Paper Girls. Check it out. It's awesome. Now, the one by Garth Ennis. A Train Called Love. This one is good if you like comedies. That's what this is. It's a funny comedy that if it was a movie, this would totally be spot on. This would be the next big movie that people like. I don't know what's a current comedy movie people like, but it would be that one. So this is A Train Called Love. It's about several different characters, and this one is just their introduction. It introduces a hitman and this girl that they just met, and they, consummate their meeting. It's about 4 friends. It's about a singer. That's it. It's about those people. Those 4, 5, 6, 7 people. That's what it's about. It's going to pick up from there. They're all related somehow. Either they know someone, or they're a friend of someone, or they're dating that someone. They all are connected in some way, shape, or form. And so this is only a short run series, A Train Called Love by Garth Ennis. It's pretty cool. It's put up by Dynamite. It's for mature readers only. So check it out. It's going to be a good one. All right, next up, Dead Vengeance, #1. If you like horror stories, if you like the macabre, this would be part of the genre that you're looking for. It's about a gentleman who was a radio broadcaster who was fighting the system of evil and corrupt mayors and whatnot. And he went missing for 10 years, and he came out of a coma inside of a giant glass jar filled with formaldehyde. He was dead. He was essentially dead and came back to life. And he's trying to find out who he was. So he remembers the name of his best friend. Is all he could remember. And then he sees a newspaper ad about a gentleman who went missing 10 years ago. And he says, that's my name. I know that's my name. I know this is the name of my best friend. He finds his best friend. He asks his best friend what happened. His best friend's going, okay, this is what happened. And he's telling him the whole story of what led to his disappearance. And that's where it ends, at the very end of him getting arrested right before he disappeared. So that's Dead Vengeance, put out by Dark Horse. It's a pretty cool series. #1 just started again. It's going to be a short run series, so check that one out. Next up, Doctor Strange, issue 1. I really, really enjoyed this one. This, first off, it gives an old homage to the old Doctor Strange, which I just love the heck out of that. So it does that, and then it just talks about, well, Doctor Strange being Doctor Strange, where he lives, what he's doing, how he's living in New York, and how people who are in trouble find him. He doesn't have to go anywhere. People find him, and he helps people. It's really a great story. I don't want to give this away too much. It's a really good story. I encourage you to go out and get this new Doctor Strange. All right? So next up, Grumpy Cat, another one by Dynamite. This is going to be our kids' choice for the comics. It's really great. And they make fun of Marvel. They make fun of DC without saying it outright, but you know, they work around it. It's hilarious. I know you're thinking, oh, Grumpy Cat, has this meme not been played out? Yes, it has. That's why they made the comic series for it. So Grumpy Cat, there's four short stories in here. They're all related around Grumpy Cat. A couple of them are him being a superhero with his friend. What's his friend's name? Pokey. Pokey's his friend's name. Pokey the cat. So it's about Pokey the cat and Grumpy Cat being friends, living together, doing stuff. So that's going to conclude the comics for this week. Now the comics that are coming out next week. So this week we have a whole bunch of #1s that came out, and they're all good stories. I mean, the store was flooded with new comics that came out. It's going to be the same next week. There's a whole bunch of cool stuff coming out next week. You're not going to want to miss it. First off, starting next week, A-Force #5. This is going to be the end of the A-Force series that ties into the Marvel Secret Wars Battle World tie-in. So that you got to read that one. A-Force #5. It's going to be the last A-Force before they lead into the A-Force actual comic, the new one coming up. Adventure Time #45, which is always fun. A cool one that's coming out next week, just starting #1, Assassin's Creed, getting their own comic. That's right, Assassin's Creed, the video game, is now moved into the comics. So check it out, it's going to be a cool one. They're coming out with a blank comic also. Who doesn't want to be drawn as one of the assassins? I'm going to get one. I'm going to be drawn as an assassin, killing an assassin. Who do you like most? Put it in the comments. I'm going to draw myself killing them, just for you. All right, also, Batmite #5 of 6 is coming out. Batman #45, Batman and Robin, Eternal #2. Remember, it's a weekly series. It's going to be worth it, though. Batman Superman #25 is coming out, continuing with the Superman lies and all that story arc that's been going on. Captain America White #3. That's been a really good series so far, a good origin story. Also a cool one for all the Star Wars fans. Chewbacca #1 is coming out next week. That's going to be awesome. Civil War #5. If you've been reading the current Civil War story, it's pretty awesome. So that's going to be a good one to look out for. Also Covenant #4. And that's a Rob Littlefield comic that's out. It's a good one. You got to check it out. It's only at #4. Deadpool versus Thanos number 3 is coming out as well. That's been a good series so far. Looking forward to seeing what those two crazy guys are going to do together. East of West number 21, always good. Fables Wolf Among Us number 10. Faster Than Light number 2. We talked about Faster Than Light number 1 in one of our previous videos. Number 2 is coming out. It's going to be awesome. Now here's another cool one. G.I. Joe Cobra World Order, The Prelude. So this is going to be leading up to right now, or what happened with Cobra taking over G.I. Joe. I don't know if you're reading the current G.I. Joe story, but it's been really great. Everybody's talking about how Donatello died a few months back. Did you know Snake Eyes died? And he didn't just pretend die and his soul got stuck in some ethereal plane. Snake Eyes died. Yeah, check it out in G.I. Joe. There was one issue right after the issue of his death. No words at all, just everybody crying. It was great. You should read it or look at the pretty pictures. What else? Goon in Theater Bazaar, number 1, coming out next week. I don't know. I can't explain their publishing process. I'm going to read it though because I like Goon. Guardians of Galaxy number 1 is coming out next week. So if you're a big Guardians of Galaxy fan, if you like Star Wars, Groot, Rocket, Gamora, Drax, any of those, check it out. It's going to be an awesome story. Starting off with number 1. Another cool one, a Scotty Young story. If you're familiar with Scotty Young, he does all the cartoon, kiddish type covers, kind of chibi looking. Scotty Young does a lot of those covers. He's getting his own story that he gets to not only draw it, but also write it. And it's going to be amazing. It's called I Hate Fairyland. It's going to be cool. There's going to be 2 covers out for it. Check it out. One of them's really explicit, but really awesome. So check it out. I Hate Fairyland number 1's coming out next week. It's going to be a cool one. Gem and the Holograms number 8. For all the Star Wars fan, another Star Wars one coming out next week. The Force Awakens, Shattered Empire number 3. Remember, it's only a 4-part series, so we're getting close to the end here. That's number 3 of 4. Justice League of America number 4 is coming out. Miss Marvel number 19. We're getting close to the conclusion of the Miss Marvel series before we start the new Miss Marvel with the Marvel Now series. Or the Marvel U, whatever they're calling themselves. Ninjak number 8 for Valiant fans out there. Rick and Morty is not coming out next week, sorry. But Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Number 62 is coming out. Sleepy Hollow Providence, number 3, and that's a short 4-part series, so we're almost done on that. Also, a new one coming out next week from Marvel, Spider-Gwen number 1. A bunch of covers on that one as well, so you got to check that out. Spider-Gwen number 1, just starting off, new series. SpongeBob number 49. Star Trek Green Lantern number 4. This is a 6-part series. It's been really amazing so far. I'm a big fan of Star Trek and the Green Lanterns, so I think it's pretty cool that they're crossing over like that. You have to read it. It's really amazing. They're Not Like Us number 8 came out this week. I'm sorry. Diesel, number 2 of 4. It's a Tyson heist story. It's been really, really amazing. It's only a 4-part series. Number 2 is coming out next week, so you got to read that. Uncanny Avengers, number 1. Another new one from Marvel coming out next week. Marvel's doing a whole bunch of new stuff right now, so if you're looking to jump into comics, now is the time. Marvel's rebooting. They've never done a reboot like this before. They've done different type of reboots, but this is an actual company-wide redistribution reboot. So check it out. It's a good time to get into it. Vampirilla Army of Darkness number 404. So this is going to end the Vampirilla and Ash affair that's been going on. It's been hilarious to say the most. I'm a fan of Ash. I'm a fan of Vampire. I'm a fan of all things, you know. And this has been a good series. Walking Dead number 147. I know you've been waiting for that one, so that's coming out. And that about wraps it up for the comics that are worth talking about at the moment. I'm sure next week I'll see more and I'll be like, oh, why didn't I say that? But that's going to be the end of the comics that are coming out next week. Now the news. So, this week, Arrow came out. I had been a big fan of Arrow, but this is my personal opinion. But right now, this episode just came out yesterday or Thursday. It seemed like a daytime TV show. I felt like it was a novella. I was waiting for the theme music to start coming out and someone to say, I'm the third cousin, to bust out of the door and say, I also have Felicity's pregnant. Because it's really turning into one of those shows for me, one of those daytime TV talk shows like that. I really like Arrow, and I had been enjoying it throughout the seasons. I hope it doesn't turn into that, but that's the way. Me and my daughter were both kind of bored with it yesterday, and my daughter's a big fan of geek stuff too. And so when I know she's bored with it and I'm bored with it, something's not right in geekendom. Okay, so Arrow number 4 came out. Flash number 2 should be coming out. It did. I didn't see it. Sorry. I'm sure it was good. I liked the first episode of season 2. That was good. Ron Perlman got cast in the new J.K. Rowling movie. That's going to be pretty amazing. Ron Perlman as a goblin. What else? What else did we say? The Jessica Jones trailer came out. I don't know if you saw that yet. There wasn't much to see. She crushed a thing. Okay, who doesn't want to do that in the morning when they hear their alarm going off? I just want to crush it. But I don't, because it's also my phone, and if I crush that, I'd be lost. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd be crying in a corner somewhere, curled up in the fetal position. So, that's all the news for this week. Let us know what you thought. Let us know what you're reading. Let us know what you want to hear us talk about. You got comments down there. Leave them in there. All right? We'll see you next week.